It's Tuesday, April 12th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski back in our Shelton studio today, and we have the latest local news. John Kovach joins us later with sports, and Donald Ang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's headlines. Ansonia police say a man intentionally set his home on fire yesterday afternoon, dousing the inside with oil. 50-year-old Stephen Weidler of 3 Marshall Lane faces a reckless endangerment charge and arson following his arrest yesterday. Firefighters who responded to 3 Marshall Lane forced entry, finding heavy black smoke and fire conditions. Fire personnel eventually extinguished the fires and conducted a search of the entire residence. They observed slippery, oily conditions on the floor in several parts of the home and detected a strong odor of diesel fuel or home heating oil. Fire personnel also observed at least 4 separate and distinct areas where the fire could have started, and a plastic 5-gallon bucket was lying in a bedroom which contained a reddish-colored liquid that looked and smelled like home heating oil. An attempt to locate the resident, Stephen Weidler, was sent out, and Woodbridge police ended up finding him last night walking down a street. The officers said they could smell a strong petroleum smell on him, and they said his clothes were covered in liquid. He was taken into custody and charged. And Darien police confirmed the death of a contractor who fell from a scaffold at a Nearwater Lane home yesterday. Police said they received an emergency call from the single-family residence just before 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon and responded alongside Darien and Stamford EMS. The male victim was found at the rear of the home and had suffered visible head trauma. There were no witnesses to the fall. He was transported to Stamford Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The contractor's name is being withheld until family can be notified, and police are investigating. For updates, check DarienTimes.com. And Reading police officials are investigating an untimely death of a man at a home on Blueberry Hill Road yesterday. The man who died yesterday morning was 32 years old, police said. Chief Douglas Fuchs said more information would become public about the death after the police investigation is complete. And Trumbull police arrested 2 men in connection with an employee theft ring that operated from January 2015 to October 2015 at the Home Depot in Trumbull on Monroe Turnpike. 22-year-old Santiago Gonzalez of Bridgeport and 21-year-old Jarrell Santa Maria of Monroe were both arrested at the Trumbull Police Department on Sunday on outstanding warrants for conspiracy to commit larceny in the second degree. According to a report, there are 5 more employees, including a shift manager, who have yet to be arrested in connection with the almost year-long shoplifting spree that took place at the store. Police told the Trumbull Times Monday that the 7 employees worked together as a cleaning crew at the store and stole valuable tools in the middle of the night when on break during their shift. Gonzalez, who was detained in Bridgeport before being transferred to Trumbull, was additionally charged with larceny in the 3rd degree. Police said he started taking drills in January 2015, and he stole as much as $5,290 worth of goods on one specific night in August based on store surveillance. Police said video footage showed that an additional almost $8,000 worth of tools was stolen on another night in the fall. An audit revealed the scheme, and Home Depot's Asset Protection Department reported this to Trumbull Police last fall. The report said Home Depot reviewed the surveillance footage of the crew after an audit report came in, and the theft manager admitted to intentionally overlooking the tapes to support the scheme. According to the report, the shift manager estimated that more than $300,000 worth of tools had been stolen in total. Some of the goods were recovered at several local pawn shops, police said, while other tools were sold on Facebook last year and have not been found. And Bridgeport police report that 2 men were shot late Sunday during an apparent drug deal. Witnesses told police that 20-year-old Brandon Thompson of Kennedy Drive went with his friend to Iranistan Avenue to meet Emmanuel White, 22, of Federal Street to purchase marijuana. After they met, an altercation ensued, and both men were shot, Thompson in the chest and White in the arm, police said. The incident was called in at about 11:30 on Sunday night. Thompson was taken to St. Vincent's Hospital by a private vehicle where he was rushed into surgery. He was in critical but stable condition on Monday. White was admitted to St. Vincent's with what was described as a non-life-threatening wound. That case remains under investigation. And the layoffs of as many as 2,000 state employees began Monday, with 165 termination notices in the State Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, as well as the Department of Children and Families. According to Hearst, Connecticut media, Governor Daniel P. Malloy said that these layoffs are being done on an orderly basis with the hopes of getting people who are on pins and needles the answer about their status as quickly as possible. He said that this will be going on for quite a while. Because of seniority issues that in some cases cross agency and department lines, state human resource experts have to review issues of bumping rights in which longer serving employees can retain employment by shifting to jobs currently filled by those vulnerable to termination. Last week, Department of Correction employees were notified by Commissioner Scott Semple that 147 workers would be terminated. About $27.6 million is planned to be saved in this layoff campaign, which will be rolled out over the next several weeks. But shifting gears now and taking a look at the forecast. Today, a high of 57 degrees expected, but showers will continue before 2 o'clock this afternoon. Tonight gets a little bit colder with a low of 34 degrees, but it's going to be clear. And Wednesday, back up to 57 degrees and finally some sunny weather. It also looks like sunny, clear skies the rest of the week, so some good news there. But we're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we have some more news. Donald Dang takes a look back on this day in history, and John Kovach is filling in at the sports desk today. That's coming up after this.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances. Where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Dang, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
And we're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and I'm going to throw it over to Donald Dang now to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it's April 12th, and we're going to start all the way back in 1606. The Union flag, adopted as the flag of English and Scottish ships on the high seas. You see, James VI of Scotland had inherited the English and Irish thrones in 1603, though he ruled those two countries as James I, thereby uniting the crowns of England, Scotland, and Ireland. The new flag to represent this union was specified as a combination of the flag of England, which is known as the St. George's Cross, and the flag of Scotland, that is the St. Andrew's Cross, later joined by the flag of Ireland, which is called the St. Patrick's Cross. Now we go to 1861. During the American Civil War, Confederate forces begin firing on Fort Sumter in the harbor of Charleston, South Carolina. Captain Abner Doubleday, who probably didn't invent baseball, fired the first shot in defense of the fort. In the day-long cannon duel, there was only 2 fatalities, one of them occurring after the end of the battle, when a Union soldier died firing a surrender salute. To 1981, the first launch of the space shuttle, that would be Columbia, takes place. STS-1, it was called, an experimental mission testing the shuttle's performance characteristics. It was commanded by Gemini and Apollo veteran John Young, who a decade earlier had been the 9th man to walk on the moon. Columbia would complete 27 more missions over the next 22 years. And I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to go to 1945 for this.
Apollo 13 flight controllers, listen up.
That's not 1945.
Yeah, that's
You go, no go for launch.
I think that's yesterday's folder.
Booster. Go. Retro.
All right,
Go.
come on.
Yeah, just come back.
Go fly. Guidance. Guidance, go. Surgeon.
Go flight.
Ecom.
Or go flight.
All right, that was a rehash, actually, of April 12th's highlights. Actually, in 1945, on this date, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt is sitting for a portrait in Warm Springs, Georgia, when he suddenly gets a sharp pain in his head and collapses. He was 3 months into his 4th term. In addition to his polio affliction, his health had been deteriorating for a number of years. In early 1944, he had been diagnosed with high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and congestive heart failure. During the election of '44, he had also used his authority over the censorship office to quash news stories about his declining health. At the time he collapsed and died later on that day, Roosevelt had been sitting for the portrait painted by the artist Elizabeth Schumatoff, now known as the famous unfinished portrait of FDR. That is your look back in history for today, April 12th, and I am Donald Ing.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, we just love that movie so much we wanted to play it again.
It was a great highlight there. I said
Yes.
I could have used the actual CBS news feed, but I like that better.
All right. Well, thanks so much, John. Well, I'm going to get back to a little more news today before we throw it over to John. Chef Sylvia Baldini, the founder of the new Canaan-based culinary group Strawberry and Sage, will compete on Chopped Champion, the Food Network hit series. Baldini won on Chopped last year, collecting $10,000, making her eligible for another appearance, this time vying for $50,000. On April 19th at 10 p.m., Baldini will be one of 16 returning champions chosen to battle it out for a chance to earn the Chopped Champion title and the $50,000. 4 preliminary rounds will determine who gets a spot in the finale, but only one chef from among the 4 finalists will be named the winner. You can get a lot more on that at ncadvertiser.com, and we should say Chef Baldini has been a guest on the HAN Network a few times on Patty Gay's former food chat show, Stir Crazy.
Looking forward to seeing what's in the basket.
Yeah.
I always enjoy that.
Oh, it's
the
always
thinking on
fun,
your
John.
feet.
Well, you're filling in today at the sports desk, John, so what's going on? I know we have some highlights from last night's game,
We
too.
had a thriller at Cubetta Stadium in Stamford yesterday, Norwalk and Trinity Catholic. If we've got those, let's take a look.
No time like the present to bring you right in to Cubetta Stadium in Stamford. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rob Adams, and the pitch. Pulled to short, grabbed there by Donahue, goes to the bag, and the inning is over. 6-4 on the putout, living dangerously. They get out of it. No runs, no hits. Have fallen victim to it. Here's Riddle. They bunt. Back to the mound, taking a look, Searles. He'll throw to first and throw it away. Turning Hazard, coming to the plate. No throw, 1-0 Trinity Catholic. The letters, the right-handed batter waiting. He swings and lines it in the left center field. It's a base hit. Riddle on his horse, rounds third. He will come on. The throw to third is going to be in time. They get him there. Does the run score? The run does score. Umpires are talking. Out. No. The run will not score. The run will not score, and that's going to bring chaos into this ballpark. First base is open. Singewald on deck. Just reaches for it to first. Dane will touch the bag. Scoring is Liriano. We're knotted at 1, and what a wonderful at-bat for Ryan Searles. And he golfs it into center field. A long run. This is over the head of Bernard.
scoring Gonzalez. Ortiz rounds third. The throw will be cut off. A 2 RBI double for Ed O'Hara. Norwalk takes a 3-1 lead. And still nobody out. He swings. Down the line, it's a fair ball. 1 run will score. Hitting third, coming on, Montero. A 2 RBI double. The floodgates are open. 5-1 Norwalk. Pitch on the way. Soft liner, bounces, pinballs, picked up, throw to first. Got him, ball game over.
Took Norwalk a while to break through, but once they did in a big way. Ryan Searles got the win for Norwalk, 5 2/3, no earned runs allowed, 5 hits, 3 walks, struck out 5. The hard luck loser is Trinity starter John Hazard. He went 7+ innings pitched, threw over 150 pitches, allowed 4 runs, 3 earned on 3 hits, 7 walks, 13 strikeouts. A great day, one that you look at that line and say he won. Wasn't to be yesterday. Elsewhere on the diamond in the FCAC, Darien over McMahon 6-2, Danbury 7-6 over West Hill, Greenwich tops St. Joe's 10-5, Staples 6-2 over Trumbull, Stamford blanks New Canaan 4-0, Ward all over Central 17-0, and Ludlow edges Ridgefield 3-2. In softball, Ward blanks Central 13-0. In a 5-inning game, Darien blanks McMahon 12-0. Danbury 6, West Hill 3. St. Joe's 9-0 Greenwich, a no-hitter in that one. New Canaan with a 10-4 win on the softball diamond over Stamford. Norwalk and Trinity worked extra in the softball matchup between the teams too, with the Bears edging the Crusaders 12-11. Ludlow over Ridgefield 7-6. Wilton 6-2 over Immaculate. Trumbull 7-5 over Staples. Boys lacrosse yesterday, a couple interconference games. St. Joe's tops Massac 21-15, while Immaculate all over Bridgeport Central 12-2. In girls lacrosse, Stamford with a 7-6 overtime victory over Brookfield. Garden City comes up from Long Island, hands Darien a 13-5 loss. New Fairfield gets by Ward 10-9, and Norwalk with an 11-8 win over Weston. We will have lacrosse for you on the HAN network later today. Greenwich visiting Ridgefield. That's a 6:15 start from Tiger Hollow. Also in boys lacrosse today, West Hill at King. That's a 4:30 start. Ludlow travels to Darien at 5. Trinity Catholic at Staples at 5:30. Danbury at McMahon 6 o'clock. Ward at Trumbull 6:30. St. Joe's at Norwalk 6:30. New Canaan at Wilton 7 p.m. In baseball, should they get it in, a crossover game between St. Joe's and Bethel. Softball, we're scheduled to have Ward and Bunnell. I doubt they're playing. They were supposed to start at 11. I'd be surprised. Danbury at Bethel, scheduled for 3:45. Ludlow set to travel to Monroe to take on Massac. That a 4 p.m. start. And in girls lacrosse, St. Joe's at Norwalk at noon. Wilton at West Hill at 4. Greenwich at New Canaan at 4. Ludlow at Staples at 4, and at 4:15, McMahon at Ridgefield. But again, lacrosse this afternoon on the HAN network. Greenwich at Tiger Hollow, taking on Ridgefield, 6:15 start. That's it for sports. I'm John Kovach.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, getting back to a little more news today, taxpayers have a few extra days to file this year. Connecticut Department of Revenue Services Commissioner Kevin Sullivan on Monday reminded taxpayers that the federal and state income tax deadline is Monday, April 18th. This year, the regular April 15th deadline is delayed due to the federal date being pushed back by the Washington, D.C. Emancipation Day holiday. Still, Sullivan urged taxpayers never to wait until the last minute. He estimated 1.8 million paper and electronic returns would be filed this year. And the 10th anniversary of Magic Moments, a major benefit for the Kennedy Center's Autism Project, will be held on Saturday, April 30th at 7 p.m. at the Warehouse, Fairfield Theater Company, and that's at 70 Sanford Street in Fairfield. The benefit kicks off with a social hour, a craft beer tasting featuring 5 local breweries, and food at 7, followed by the 2015 America's Got Talent first runner-up, stand-up magician Derek Hughes at 9 o'clock. The evening caps off with live music by the Fry Daddies at 10 p.m. The special event is the main funding source for the Kennedy Center Autism Project, which helps more than 450 local children with autism spectrum disorders and their families. This year's event coincides with National Autism Awareness Month in April. Well, we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following on your coffee break after this.
At the Sylvan Learning Center of Darien, experienced teachers and personalized academic support equals superior results. Our certified teachers uncover skill gaps, address specific needs, and help students realize greater academic success and increased confidence. We're enrolling now. Individualized after-school tutoring in reading, math, history, elementary math, algebra, geometry, calculus, high school science, and study skills. For a free consultation, call 203-655-3276 or email gmcsylvan@gmail.com.
Alberto Londano Professional Painting, Wallpapering, and Carpentry has been serving Fairfield County for over 20 years. Based in Norwalk, Alberto takes pride in his work by offering you only the best quality service and products. Call Alberto today to get a free estimate and be one step closer to a new and exciting home makeover. 203-866-9635.
What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Czaplinski
And Josh Fisher.
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN Network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN Network.
When it comes to local entertainment, we've got it all.
From movies, local artists, etiquette, and more.
Watch HAN Arts and Leisure every Thursday at 2 on the HAN Network.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Join the HAN Network and Make-A-Wish Connecticut to help make travel wishes come true for local kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Donate your unused airline miles to the HAN Network Wishes in Flight campaign. Together we can share the power of a wish. Join.
And we're back on your coffee break on the HAN Network, recapping some of the top stories we're following today, including that Ansonia police say a man intentionally set his home on fire yesterday afternoon, dousing the inside with oil. 50-year-old Stephen Weidler of 3 Marshall Lane is charged with reckless endangerment and arson following his arrest yesterday. Firefighters who responded to 3 Marshall Lane forced entry, finding heavy black smoke and fire conditions around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Fire personnel eventually extinguished the flames and conducted a search of the entire residence. They observed slippery, oily conditions on the floor in several areas and detected a strong odor of diesel fuel or home heating oil. The fire personnel also observed at least 4 separate and distinct areas where the fire could have originated, and a plastic 5-gallon bucket was lying in a bedroom which contained a reddish-colored liquid that they say smelled like home heating oil. An attempt to locate the resident, Stephen Weidler, was sent out, and Woodbridge police located him last night walking down a street. The officers could smell a strong petroleum smell on him, and they said his clothes were covered in liquid. He was taken into police custody. And Darien police confirmed the death of a contractor who fell from a scaffold at a near Water Lane home yesterday. Police said they received an emergency call from a single-family residence just before 1 in the afternoon on Monday and responded alongside Darien and Stamford EMS. The male victim was found at the rear of the home and had suffered visible head trauma. There were no witnesses to the fall. He was transported to Stamford Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The contractor's name was being withheld pending notification of the family, but you can get updates at DarienTimes.com. And Reading police officials are investigating an untimely death of a man on Blueberry Hill Road yesterday. The man who died yesterday morning was 32 years old. Police Chief Doug Fuchs said more information will become public after the police investigation is complete. And Trumbull police arrested 2 men in connection with an employee theft ring that operated from January 2015 to October 2015 at the Home Depot on Monroe Turnpike. 22-year-old Santiago Gonzalez of Bridgeport and 21-year-old Jarrell Santa Maria of Monroe were both arrested at the Trumbull Police Department on Sunday on outstanding warrants for conspiracy to commit larceny in the second degree. According to a report, there are 5 employees, including a shift manager, who have yet to be arrested in connection with the almost year-long shoplifting spree that took place overnight at the store. Police told the Trumbull Times Monday that the 7 employees worked together as a cleaning crew at the store and stole valuables in the middle of the night when they were on break during their shift. The report said Home Depot reviewed surveillance footage of the crew after an audit report came in, and the shift manager admitted to intentionally overlooking the tapes to support the scheme. According to the report, the shift manager estimated that more than $300,000 worth of tools had been stolen. Some of those goods were recovered at local pawn shops, while others were sold on Facebook and have not been found. But taking one final look at the forecast before we wrap things up. Today, high of 57 degrees expected, and this rainy weather will only continue before 2 o'clock. Then things will start to clear up. Tonight gets colder with a low of 34 degrees, but it will still stay clear. And Wednesday, back up to 57 degrees and some sunny weather. And the rest of the week is looking good too. Mostly clear skies and sun on the way. So good news there. We're going to wrap things up on your coffee break coming up at 12:30 today. Of course, the Drive with Denise, 2 o'clock Nutmeg Sports, and of course, we will have boys lacrosse for you later today at Ridgefield. Greenwich is at Ridgefield, so you can check that out all on the HAN Network. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.